Michael!
Hey, how you doing, Ricky?
I am doing fantastic,
That's
sir.
awesome.
How are you?
I'm fine. Well, I had, kind of some. Well, it's kind of. I went to the doctor the other day, and he did some tests, and he was telling me, Mike,
You are getting up to that age.
well, that's true. Thanks. But
Thanks
said,
for that reminder.
Reminder. But he was telling me I was going deaf. He said, Mike, you're going deaf. And I said, really? And
Wait. Death?
yeah, death. Not death, because that would be a bad thing, but deaf. And
Deaf, okay.
Yeah, deaf, and so.
That's not good.
No, I mean, it was really hard to hear.
Oh. I'm going to start the show.
Let's go ahead.
It's the Speaking Dirty podcast with your host, Mr. Mike Shelley.
And my good friend and compadre, Mr. Ricky Poe. Yeah. Try to build that one up. Yeah.
That was funny. That was a good one.
Good.
I like that one.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining the show. And
yes.
Tonight, yes, I know. Tonight we're going to talk about the movie Eternals. You're thinking, whoa, guys, that came out, 80 years ago? Well, you know what?
So long ago.
We're slow to the uptake, and we watched it. And, we kind of went, let's talk about it since we watched it.
Yeah.
And,
well, it was out.
Yeah.
And we didn't see it.
No, we didn't see it.
And then it came out on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
But we had to talk about the Book of Boba Fett.
That's right. That was our series.
Instead.
Exactly. Go ahead and catch that if you had missed out on that, because that was some good stuff. Plus, even Disney got mad at us.
Yes. Disney shut our last podcast down. Disney told Facebook to take our podcast down because we violated copyright rules because we showed images from their show that everybody in the world has shown images from.
Yeah, so we've elevated now. Even Disney's trying to shut us down. That
exactly.
Means
that we're so important. We're so big that we're on Disney's radar.
That's right. The mouse is after us.
So what are we going to do? We're going to run roughshod over the mouse one more time.
That's right.
And talk about Marvel's Eternals today.
That's right. That's right. So,
and if you're watching us live, make sure you comment. Let us know you're watching, where you're watching from. Yeah, we would love to see your comments.
Yes.
And if you have any comments during the show, let us know what they are. You might agree with us. You might not. If you don't agree with us, that's okay.
It's okay. I mean,
you can be wrong.
But that's right. That's right. You can be wrong. Yeah. So, but we have some. I mean, I put a lot. Usually, our happenings of the week, our nerdy happening of the weeks, we usually don't have a whole lot, but there is so much that's going on. I mean, and I'm just gonna, we'll talk a little bit about it, and so many things. Well, we had the Super Bowl, and there's, yeah, I know. And we usually do a Super Bowl special, but I think that wore us out the last time. But they had the extended trailer, Moon Knight. What did you think about this trailer?
It looks good. As usual, the MCU is going to rewrite some of the backstory.
Yeah.
Some of it makes sense for why they're rewriting it because, some of it's super dated.
Yeah, exactly.
He there's no way he could be the age he is and be born in the 40s. or whatever it was. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember how old he was supposed to be in the comics, but the age thing didn't work. So a lot of that had to be rewritten. But it looks like we're not going to get the Mark Spector that we were expecting. We're going to get one of the other personalities as the main personality, which is kind of interesting. But I'm looking forward to it. I don't know that it made me more excited about it, but it definitely made me more curious as to where they're going with it.
How do you how do you feel Oscar Isaac? He kind of taken this almost this I don't know, it's kind of the lesser man type of character. You know, not exactly heroic character as far as his actual identity as himself. I thought it was interesting. I read somewhere in an article about his choice of type of British accent. There was an article about that, which
Really?
I thought it was odd. I thought, well, it's a British accent, so I don't know. It's like a different type of Southern accent. I don't know. So it was odd to me, but also a big
There are British rednecks.
Well, that's true. That is true. That's why. Especially on the summer wine. What was that?
Yes.
Yes.
Last of the Summer Wine. That's a great show.
And then of course we had Doctor Strange and the multiverse universe.
The second trailer, I guess.
Yeah, it was a very extended.
Since technically the first trailer was the post-credit scene from No Way Home.
Yeah, exactly. There was a lot of rumors on that,
Oh my goodness!
I mean, I think they had one where they had toast that looks like Mary, and then they had, it was like, oh, there's Deadpool, and then,
I know. If there's a character they could shoehorn in there, that somebody has tried to shoehorn it in there.
Isn't that something? Yeah,
I am amazed. I guess the big. Are we going to say what the big one is that everybody's convinced is reality?
Yeah, go ahead.
It is that Charles Xavier exists.
That's right.
In the MCU now.
That's what
it's official. Saying. Charles Xavier. Now, I will be honest. I have not frame by frame watched the trailer to confirm anything that these people have said. The other thing that everybody is saying is kind of confirmed is that we're going to get an ultimate Iron Man, because that's where those robots that are taking Doctor Strange captive are supposed to be. Yeah. Supposed to be part of that Ultron Ultimate Iron Man thing. Mm-hmm. But I do think is true. I do think we're getting an Illuminati of some sort. We are finally going to get a Marvel Illuminati. I don't dispute that at all. I'm just not sure who they are.
Yeah.
And whether or not they're all going to be from this universe.
Yeah, exactly.
I think they're going to rewrite who the Marvel Illuminati is. And I've been a proponent of launching the Marvel Illuminati forever. I mean, for at least a couple of years, I've been saying, this would be a great way for them to bring in the X-Men and the Fantastic Four. And
oh, definitely. I mean, well, and it kind of touches on, Feige. He made it very clear that there would no longer be in a new Avengers. That was it.
Yes,
he made it very clear. So, yeah. So Kevin Feige confirms Avengers Endgame is the final Avengers movie. So
now, what do you think that really means?
Yeah, that's odd to me. I mean,
do you think it means just no traditional Avengers movie? No movie called just Avengers? Because we've been talking about the Young Avengers forever.
Yeah, exactly.
Does that count as an Avengers movie?
I don't know. I think they're trying to get away from eventually trying to get away from a story arc. And I mean, as far as, I think eventually.
So do you think that's where we're really headed, where they're wanting to get away from these big crossover movies where everybody joins together as a team?
Well, remember a while back they had a big deal on contracts, and they were concerned about doing multi-contracts and having to negotiate, like the Scarlett Johansson and some of those other actors and actresses.
Yes.
So I have a feeling Marvel wants more flexibility, even though the stories are really, I love the stories being integrated, and I think they'll still do some integration there. I think they'll but I don't know if we're going to see this, like, like with the Eternals. There's a lot of stuff in the post credits. I don't think we're going to see this. We may see a passing of a torch, leading to another film, or a reference to the Avengers, or reference to something that happened within that canon. But I don't know. I think they're going to look more in a story by story kind of format. I hope I'm wrong, because
right.
I hope I'm wrong, because I really like the story arc. I mean, that's that's how it got me hooked with Marvel.
And they've done it so well.
Yeah.
And, DC tried it, and they didn't do it well. They didn't execute.
Yeah, they did.
Marvel executed it so well that, I mean, we're kind of trying to see Star Wars try to do this.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're executing it okay.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
No, it's not bad, but it's not.
But it's not
level.
Marvel good.
No, it's not the same level. Well, I mean, and thinking about it, the Avengers. I mean, you think about the new Captain America. You have, which is supposed to be coming out. I mean, down the road. I mean, there's supposed to
Captain America 4 is supposed to be slated, but we don't have dates, and we don't have. All we know is Sam Wilson will return.
I think there's just a lot going on, and of course, they had Loki season 2. We all know it was coming, and Owen Wilson was talking about. He confirms Morbius will return, and the filming begins soon. So,
fantastic.
And I think, even though DC is trying to say, okay, we're not going to have this continuity, we're going to play with this multiverse, which, however they call it, but Marvel really, they can really claim the multiverse here. They have DC has our Flash, and we have our Doctor Strange, okay? And I think anything can come out of this. I mean, like Loki, that is totally an essence of the timeline and interruption of the timeline. So I'm just interested if they're going to try to tie in this stuff together. I have a feeling some things are going to overlap. We all know that Wanda and Doctor Strange, we know this in the trailer, that they are going to work together for whatever's going to happen. So that would be interesting, but per se. But speaking of Star Wars, actually they're going to bring in John Williams to do the writing of the theme.
I know.
Kenobi, so that's awesome.
I saw this. I'm super excited.
Yeah.
I actually, on one of the groups I run, a couple of people mentioned that, John Williams wasn't involved in The Mandalorian or in the Book of Boba Fett. I do think they had great music.
Yeah.
But there is just something about John Williams that, just does extraordinary things.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say it other than that.
When you hear him, it's Star Wars. There's no there's no dispute on that. Even though I think they did a great job on the Mandalorian, I love actually the scene of the Book of Boba Fett where he's actually in the desert, and there's this I don't think they ever captured that music again within the Book of Boba Fett, but there was this eerie. Remember this kind of eerie music, very beautiful. But very eerie at the same time.
The one episode you and I both mentioned, the music was over and above anything we had heard so far.
Yeah, especially for a TV series. So
yeah,
we also have Stranger Things.
Yes,
May the 27th.
Super excited about this.
They'll be twice the longest season. They're actually going to do it in 2 parts, from what I've read. So
and
I think,
rumor has it 8 or 9 episodes. It's not confirmed yet.
Yeah, it's going to be
exactly
a lot longer.
how long it's going to be.
Yeah.
But so 4 or 5 parts per set.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a lot. That's a lot of Stranger Things.
That is.
And also confirmed there will be a season 5.
Oh, really?
Yes, that was the other thing that the producers said. This is 4 is the penultimate season. Mm-hmm. There will be a season 5, and that will be the the final season.
Oh, wow. Well, it's funny. Speaking of sequels, I don't have anything for this, but I thought it was interesting. Before Halo even came out, the TV series, they already have confirmed a second season. So it hasn't even. So the first one of the Halo's TV series on Paramount hasn't even started yet, but they've already confirmed a season 2, which I guess they're putting a lot of their eggs in there, saying that this is going to be pretty good. So I think it's pretty great. Back to so Marvel though seems like the Defenders are leaving Netflix. Apparently,
yes.
it's time. I'm curious whether
contracts probably finally ended.
Yeah, and I wonder if it's going to be. I'm curious whether it's going to fall in the fold with Disney Plus or Hulu or not. It'd be interesting.
I'm wondering if it's just going to fall off.
Yeah, I'm kind of concerned about that
because I'm now this is something I haven't done enough research on. I should spend some time looking into it because I think I could find the information. Did Netflix actually produce them, or did Marvel Studios produce them for Netflix? Because if they're a Netflix production, but they've lost the rights to the characters, then they may just go into the ether and we may never see them again unless somebody can come up with some kind of contract agreement.
Well, yeah, and I think, they already brought in Matt Murdock from the Netflix series, but that doesn't mean he has to follow the story.
Exactly. All they have to do is write a contract for that actor for that character for him to show up.
Exactly. And make no reference of what happened in the past, or they can somehow just nod to it nonchalantly and move on. But it'd be interesting. And Matt Murdock, he is excited. He wants to play. Actually, he wants him and Kingpin. Delafio, I can't remember the gentleman's name who played Kingpin.
D'Onofrio, I think is how you pronounce it. I have never been able to figure out how to pronounce his name properly.
The guy's
He's a great actor.
Great actor. So I would love to see them do that. And
yes,
I think what I love about what Disney is doing in Marvel is that content that they're concerned about. Okay, I don't know, we really want to make a movie out of this, but what a great platform they're doing so far, making these series. Yes. And I would love to see them do a Daredevil. I don't know, but some of this content, I don't know how well they do on Disney because they kind of have this, like Deadpool. You won't see Deadpool on Disney Plus.
Probably not.
Netflix Punisher, which was an awesome series, you're not going to see on Disney Plus. So,
but Hulu is an option.
Exactly.
If Disney has the rights for the actual production, Hulu is an option. That's where MODOK went.
That's true.
That's where Hitmonkey went.
Exactly.
That is a Marvel property.
Yeah, it is.
As weird as that sounds.
Yeah, exactly.
So what else is there? There's something else Marvel on.
I think they didn't they have the I can't remember the names. Runaway,
Runaways.
Yeah, that's not a show I ever watched, but
yeah, I believe it is on Hulu though.
Yeah, so
let's see. Yeah, Runaways, Cloak and Dagger.
Okay.
Which I don't remember what station Cloak and Dagger was on. The Gifted, Legion, and Hellstrom.
Okay, that's right.
Those are all the Marvel properties that are currently on Hulu, and they were all, TV show oriented things. So I mean, there's a base for it. It makes sense, and it could happen. Depending on the rights.
Yeah.
I just don't know how the rights fall.
Yeah, that's be something to look into because I hadn't think about that because I know it's Netflix Studios. I don't know how much they're involved. So anyway, it's kind of the whole Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. thing, which is no longer canon. So, and that's also going off Netflix as well. So, on also in other news for you Trekkies, J.J. Abrams cast.
Yes.
They're talking, and actually, I read an update that actually signed on. So they're actually going to, if my understanding, they're start production in the winter of 2022. And so this is from according to Deadline. And so the cast will include Chris Pine, Zachary Quinto, Zoe Saldana, Carl Urban, and John Chow, and Simon Pegg. So that's pretty.
And
much
how do you feel about that?
As not being a Trekkie, I don't have. I mean, I enjoyed the films for what they were. I thought they were. Again, they're not Star Wars. For me, I'm a Star Wars kind of guy. I do appreciate Star Trek, but I think it's fine. I think, I think the cast has some chemistry there, from what I've seen. I'm totally fine with it. I mean, I think if J.J. Abrams wants to start ruining Star Trek again instead of Star Wars, I think he has every right to do that. I mean, if he ruins Star Trek, he stays away from my stuff, So I think that's how I feel.
Wow.
No.
Wow.
I don't. Yeah, that's send all your hate mail to.
Definitely send all the hate mail to Mike at
yahoo.aol.com. Ask Jeeves. So. Go ahead.
I've seen a couple of them. I haven't seen all of them.
Yeah.
I thought they were super well cast.
I think so.
And it works as a reboot. It really worked pretty well, in my opinion. Once again, coming from somebody who's not exactly a Trekkie, I enjoy Star Trek.
I do too.
I enjoyed the original series. I enjoyed the Next Generation. I got a little into the one where they were traveling back. They got into a wormhole and they ended up way on the other side of the
Voyager.
Voyager.
Yeah.
I got a little into Voyager, but not too much.
Yeah.
Things were happening right about that time where I was, I think that's about the time I was getting married, and I was watching a whole lot less TV anyway. And I just haven't been able, there was the sheer volume, I haven't been able to keep up.
Yeah, same here.
But overall, I mean, I thought what they did with those movies was really good.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm afraid if they tried to reboot Star Wars in the same way, it wouldn't be as good.
No, it wouldn't be. I agree.
I think Star Trek did as good a reboot as you are going to get.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So I think it's worth doing. I'm happy that they're making another one.
Yeah, I think they'll do well. I think they're a good cast, and I think they do really well. This one right here was interesting. Robert Pattinson hopes to do a potential Batman sequel to explore the Court of the Owls, which I think that would be pretty awesome. I mean,
okay,
yeah,
this is interesting.
Yeah, I mean, he's already talking about it. This is Scott Snyder's and Craig Cappiello's. They did the story in 2011, and it was in the comic book series, which I actually had was when they were doing Batman 52. And it's one of my favorite series of the comic books dealing with the Court of Owls. And, they're going for this more horror type of darkness.
Yeah.
And I can't, that would be awesome. I think.
I have been following some other people who have been talking about the upcoming The Batman.
Yeah.
And a lot of them were convinced the Court of Owls was going to be a major thing in this film. But if he's saying now he is hoping that the next to do another film and to make the Court of Owls be a big part of it, that means we're probably at most only going to get a hint about the Court of Owls in this episode, in this movie that's coming up.
Yeah.
That's interesting, actually.
Yeah, so
there's a lot more information there than they probably intended to release.
Probably so. But but I look forward to that. And
Yeah.
and the biggest thing, the most concerning thing, me and you have more than anything else is, that's right, Bendergate.
Not returning.
Yeah, well, he wrote in social media that his holdout is indeed for overpay. He said not only does he deserve the money, but the rest of the cast does also. He says, just to be clear, I don't think I'm the only one that deserves to be paid. I think the entire cast does. Negotiation, a natural part of working in showbiz, he said. He said, Bender is part of my soul, and nothing is meant to be disrespectful to the fans. He said, I hope that things will work out. Okay, now my question to you, because there is also, fans are boycotting. They're having this petition to boycott. And do you think that having a different voice actor is going to impact the show to the point where maybe some people won't watch it, or maybe you won't watch it, or will affect the quality of the show?
Okay, so let me tell it to you this way.
Okay.
I'm going to give it a shot.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a shot. No matter what, I will definitely give it a shot. I mean, I watched an episode of Peacemaker, so I'm willing to suffer for the cause.
Yeah. Yeah. I guarantee you, if the first episode of Futurama is anything like, yeah.
But
so anyway.
I will definitely give it a shot. Give him a chance, whoever the new voice actor is. I'm still hopeful that they will come to some agreement.
I think so too.
I think there's a good chance that it depends on how far apart they are money-wise.
Yeah.
I actually, for another podcast, I actually interviewed a guy that wrote for some animation.
Yeah.
And he made some disparaging comments about the industry and how the industry treats the writers and actors for animation differently than they do for live action. And it has to do with residuals, and there's this big up in arms about union and animation.
Yeah,
apparently a lot of the animation projects aren't unionized the way any live action show would be.
Gotcha.
And I wasn't aware of all that, and he kind of got into it, and I'm like, I might have to think about editing some of this for my podcast a little bit. But it was super interesting because I'm totally into that. Like, I pay for IMDb Pro so I can find out stuff like this. But I'm hopeful they come up with some kind of solution. But I'll give it a chance either way. Bender is a fantastic character, and I love to watch him, and I love the voice actor that plays him. But I like all the other characters too.
That's a question. That's another question. Now, I know DiMaggio. He does the voice of Bender, but do you think we would have the same? I don't know. Would there be the same backlash if a different voice actor for Fry, or a different voice actor for I can't remember her name.
Leela. Probably Fry, Leela, and Bender are the only three that matter.
Yeah, that's true.
I think all of the rest of them could change, and you probably wouldn't. Either you wouldn't notice, or you wouldn't care as much.
I think that's
true.
Or
it would be so inconsequential you wouldn't know.
Exactly.
There would not be this big uproar. Honestly, if it wasn't Bender, Leela, or Fry, I don't think there would even be an uproar.
Gotcha.
That's just my opinion. But like I said, I'll give it a shot. I don't know who's going to be writing for this. I don't know who's going to be producing for this. I don't know what how updated the animation is going to look. I may not like it.
I would, keep it the same as far as I'm concerned. Keep the animation
That's
the same. Stay with the original look. There's no reason to do anything different. I hate.
The Simpsons has been doing basically the same thing with only very subtle updates over the past 30 years or something ridiculous.
Exactly. So I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, so many older movies, older animations, and when they try to reboot, they go extreme on the animation and it takes away from it. It's almost like this 3D type of. Like, no, we don't need that.
Try to use all the new technology instead of trying to create,
and the animation anymore.
What made it important?
Some of the
what made it work the first time?
Yeah, and most of the animation out there anymore, the popular ones are 2D, Rick and Morty, and some of that kind of stuff.
Oh,
2D,
absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, that type of, I don't know, it's 2D, but that it's less intense. There's not a whole lot of modeling. There's not.
It's more of a flat style.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, so.
Totally agree.
Yeah. So that's anyway. But I think we can get into some. I don't know. Do we want to go ahead and get started on some what's going on here? I mean.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Let's get into it. I mean, I had some stupid news, but let's just do this.
Okay.
Have some fun here.
So, shall we throw up a spoiler alert?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right.
Scroll down 500 images.
That was your spoiler alert.
Yeah, you haven't seen
Marvel's Avengers. If you haven't Marvel's Avengers, Marvel's Eternals. If you haven't seen it yet, this is Discount Avengers.
Yeah, discount. That's right. That's right.
If you haven't, it's actually not Discount Avengers.
No,
it feels more like Discount Justice League.
Justice League. That's exactly right. That was my. No, that's right. It's exactly right.
Is that too mean? Wow, no. we've just like went all off on this movie in the first 30 seconds.
We haven't even given a second. So you know what to expect. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. I think we have very few people watching because we're very specifically because they went, really? The Eternals? Nah.
Usually I have very professional notes. These are my notes. See all these are scribbles. These are my notes for tonight.
Gosh.
How
do we want to start this? Let's start with just our overall impression. What did you think overall, just the non-spoilery, what did you think of the film?
I think it's first. This is probably one of the most non-Marvel-esque movies in the Marvel universe. I may be totally wrong, at least in the MCU universe. You're right. It felt like it was kind of a straight to video DC Justice League. We have our Superman. We have our Flash. We had all this other stuff. Anyway. It was interesting. For me, there was one character that I thought I wanted to see more of, and I think if I would have saw more of this specific character, I think it would made it more enjoyable for me. I don't think it's not the worst movie. It's not the best movie. I had some problems with the CGI. I had some problems with, it kind of bounced all over the place for me. I don't know. That, like I said, it's one that I won't watch again, just because I don't have an interest in the storyline. I didn't really have an investment with all the characters. Maybe it's because they have too many characters. I don't know. Now one thing they had some big stars. I thought that was going to be distracting. Honestly, it didn't really distract me a whole lot having some bigger stars at first where we thought, okay, why? But it didn't bother me. So so I just moved on in the movie, but, I don't know. It wasn't my Marvel movie. It didn't feel like Marvel. I came away. Well, I don't want to spoil anything, but I think there are some good parts in it, and I think there's some characters that I wish they would have focused less on, and characters I wish they would have focused more on, because I think it would have been more interesting.
I think I am very similar to your take. Not the best Marvel movie by a long shot. Probably not the worst. I've been telling people it's probably, what are there, like 35 Marvel movies now?
Yeah.
35, 36, something like that.
I think so.
It's probably in the bottom 5 for me. You know, I don't think it's the worst one.
Yeah.
But you and I had a lot of concerns when we first saw this movie coming. We started reading up on it, and we started seeing what they were going to do. And, I think a lot of our concerns are exactly what I was not happy with.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm right with you. I think there were way too many characters trying to tell way too many stories, trying to there's too much backstory that needed to be filled in. That it was like it did kind of feel less Marvel-y than other MCU movies have been. There was some really great moments, I think. There were some really lackluster moments.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Overall, I'm kind of with you. The story didn't grab a hold of me. I told somebody else this. I said, the whole, and this gets a little bit into spoilers. It's a worldwide cataclysmic event that will kill everyone on planet Earth if it happens, right? That's the big bad. But you immediately know it's not going to happen because the MCU would have to come to a screeching halt, and it's not.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
the stakes kind of die because you already know. I mean, we all know the heroes are going to win.
Yeah.
But we don't always know, that one's a little more of a, we go back to the Infinity War.
Yeah.
Well, there was we had a whole movie where the heroes really didn't win.
Yeah, exactly.
They really got they got their butts kicked. They did eventually win in the end, but the cost of winning was a lot higher than we expected.
Yeah.
With this, there was some cost to winning, but I didn't feel invested enough in the character to care.
Yeah, I think the characters, I agree. There's too much backstory, love stories, love triangles. There were like, hey, we're gonna tell the. Okay, so now we're definitely getting into spoilery parts. Yeah.
You mentioned there was one character you wanted to see more of.
Yeah.
There were a couple of characters I would like to have seen more of. Which character was it for you?
I think it was White. I had I can't remember. I have my notes here. This is the part. Okay, yeah, I don't like that one. Didn't like that one. Didn't like that one. No, I liked. And
was it Gilgamesh?
No, actually, my favorite character in the one is actually, this happens when I color on my notes. No, it's help me.
What was the power? What was their superpower?
He didn't have a superpower. He was the boyfriend. Oh,
Kit Harington.
Kit Harington. Yes.
Who should eventually be the Black Knight.
Exactly.
Yes, I'm right there with you.
I was trying to think of the character's name,
yes, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
his name in Dane Whitman is the name of the character.
Whitman. Okay.
So I totally agree with you. I think that Kit Harington was almost wasted in this film,
I agree.
which is interesting because Feige said we're not signing any multi-contract deals,
Hey, by the way,
multi-movie deals.
I found it on my notes. Dane Whitman. Okay, so
I think it's interesting. Feige says we're not signing any more multi-movie contracts.
yeah,
Well, you definitely must have signed one with Kit Harington
yeah, exactly.
because you just put him in a movie for like 30 seconds at the beginning, 30 seconds in the middle, and 30 seconds in the end, and set him up to be a superhero. And
exactly.
you obviously have agreed to another movie with Kit. Now, I'm with you on that, and I actually think you mentioned love triangle. The beginning of the movie, they build up that there's this love triangle. There's this, tension between the, Circe and Dane and Icarus.
Yeah, exactly.
This tension, this love triangle. But then Dane isn't in the rest of the movie, so there's no tension.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no tension to the love triangle. There is no love triangle because
Yeah.
there's only two people in the rest of the movie.
Yeah, I'm on IMDb right now looking at the cast, and I'm thinking it's almost like doing our show. I got to go down to the images until I can find. I mean, that's the problem. They have too many characters in this.
Well,
in this
and then
movie.
we've got the creepy kind of love triangle thing between Circe and Icarus and Sprite.
Yeah, that
because
was
Sprite's
weird.
a kid, kind of, but Sprite's 7,000 years old, but actually millions of years old. So it's not icky.
So,
I don't. Yeah, but it still felt icky.
It did feel icky. Yeah. Sorry.
But and it was weird. It was one of those. Is this really supposed to be a love triangle with Sprite, or is this a hero worship kind of love? It didn't feel like a father-daughter kind of love at all to me.
No, she was actually, and she seemed like she was very. You can tell later on how she had jealousy. She was kind of jealous between their relationship.
There was just some
Icarus and
that whole thing was just weird.
Yeah,
and it didn't. Yeah, I don't know.
it didn't seem right to me. It was funny they had Kit Harington, and I'm trying to find.
Okay, I'm just gonna add this. I just gotta add this right now.
Oh, that's nasty.
Thank you. Yeah, that's I know.
Yeah, the whole Sprite Icarus thing was just slightly weird and uncomfortable to me.
It's too weird for me. Kit Harington, and I'm trying to find the other guy's name. He played he's the actor that actually, is it Barry? Oh, yes. Let's see here. Were they both in? Well, I know one of the actors are playing in Games of Thrones.
Icarus was in Game of Thrones. Richard Madden.
Richard Madden. Okay, that's what I wanted to see here.
So why don't we blow through the characters real quick?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
So, and I've got a list written out. So
yeah, okay.
We've got Circe.
Yeah,
Circe is definitely the main character. Mm-hmm. We follow her story. It is definitely her story.
Yeah.
She is. She can transmute objects into other things, which is kind of cool. Kind of a cool power. Later, she figures out she can do it with living creatures, which is weird, but it is kind of cool.
Not as weird as the whole. Not as weird as the. But anyway.
Yeah, Gemma Chan, great actress, Crazy Rich Asians. She was actually in Captain Marvel. She was a Kree, I think, in Captain Marvel.
Really?
But the makeup was so heavy you probably wouldn't realize it was her. But great actor. I thought she did an amazing job in this movie. You and I said we were concerned with the number of actors and some of the high profile ones. But Gemma Chan owned this movie. She did an amazing job.
Oh, I agree with that.
Then we had Richard Madden, who played Icarus, which is the de facto Superman, but not quite. He's strong, but not the strongest, and he's got laser eyes and can fly, which is funny. So DC Comics apparently exist in the Marvel Universe because
they
gets
made a
called
reference
twice.
Yeah,
Twice. He gets called Superman, and then later on, they talk about Alfred to Batman.
Exactly.
So DC Comics exist in the MCU, which is funny and weird. Actually, that was probably the most Marvel-y thing they did.
Yeah. It's almost poking fun like, we're real and you're not. You're in our universe as a comic book.
So
that's
Richard,
funny,
So anyway, Richard Madden plays Icarus. Also, Game of Thrones is probably what he's most well known for. But what did you think of Richard Madden as Icarus? I thought he was okay. I didn't think he was amazing.
I think he was okay. I mean, I don't know. Seemed kind of douchey to me, but hey.
Well, but that was kind of his character arc too.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how much of that was him being who he thought he was supposed to be, and how much of that was director said be this way.
Yeah. Exactly.
So then we have Athena, and it's Athena, no A, able to manifest these gold weapons and shields, which is really kind of cool.
Yeah, I think so.
Out of thin air, she had really one of the coolest.
I think so.
Abilities. Played by Angelina Jolie, Oscar winner. She won supporting actress Oscar for Girl Interrupted, and she also was the lead for Maleficent. You know, an amazing actress. Kind of felt like she phoned it in to me.
Yeah, I did too.
She got tons and tons of screen time, but it was boring every time she was on the screen.
Well, that's
also.
That's why I was saying. Well, that's why I was saying earlier. You know, we talked about these big actors, and to me, they weren't very distracting because they weren't really that good. They didn't put their
It was like they didn't try that hard. Oh, it's an MCU movie. I can just be, I can just do. Now, I will say, this one goes back to, was this the actress or was this the director?
Yeah.
And the only reason I say that is because this particular character was super distracted and had some weird psychological issues going on all through the film. So, how much of that is the director saying this is the way you need to act, and how much of it was Angelina Jolie just kind of phoning it in? I don't know. She's just such a great actress. I hate to think it was all her.
Yeah, I would think so too. I think some of the big actors, Angelina Jolie, Salma Hayek,
which is the next character I have, Ajak.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'll let you.
Powers to heal herself and others. She's the leader of the team at first. I didn't think she did bad. I thought she was. I thought she did a really decent job. I don't think if she and Gemma Chan were in the same scene together, Gemma Chan definitely owned it. But I thought Salma Hayek did great. For those who aren't super familiar with her, she's Oscar nominated for Frida. She was in House of Gucci recently. She's in the Hitman's Bodyguard.
Yeah.
And Spy Kids 3 of all things.
Yeah. Yeah. So there you go.
She's been in so many weird movies. I really do like Salma Hayek.
I do too. I think she's good. I like her.
Then we have Kingo, who shoots beams from his fingers and can create exploding balls of energy.
Now, this was interesting. This character was interesting in his valet.
Yes. Valet. Oh, like Alfred with Batman.
Exactly.
Like, really? You guys went there twice in the same movie.
Yeah, they focus a lot of time on him. It was funny because I guess he's a Bollywood actor.
Yes.
And in one of the scenes, it was almost like they had a form of Captain America shields, within a
Yes.
dance in one of their dance sequences, which I thought was interesting. I don't know if that was just play off as I don't know why it was in there. I don't understand it, but it was Captain America's shields, but it was in a kind of a Bollywood or some kind of I don't know. I can't describe it, but you definitely know it was incarnation of a Captain American shield. There was a lot. They had a lot to do with him too, and his ballet.
Yeah, and I honestly I thought they were a great pair.
I thought so too.
They were great characters for the movie. They felt very Marvel-y to me.
Yeah, I thought that. I felt the same way. It's funny. Those are the things. Some characters, and that's probably a great thing to do. Is are they Marvel-y or not?
Yeah, Athena did not feel very Marvel-esque.
No.
Ajax maybe kind of, not so much.
Yeah.
Icarus did not feel like a Marvel character to me. I don't know why. Just very stiff and awkward.
Yeah.
Kingo felt more like a Marvel character to me. By the way, so played by, I'm going to butcher his name.
That's fine.
Kumail
Yes, Kumail
Nanjiani.
That's close. That's
close enough.
Close. Yeah.
Sorry if I butchered your name. He is going to be in Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yes, I heard.
I don't know what he's playing, but he's going to be.
He's going to be in it.
The last time I looked, he still didn't have a character name.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he's going to be a surprise character or, I'm not sure but for some reason they haven't given him a named position in the show yet. And we're going to get to see that in just a couple of months.
Oh, yeah.
So then we have Sprite, played by Leah McHugh, able to create illusions that appear real but have no substance. In things that I'm not familiar with at all, A House on the Bayou and a TV show, American Woman. Not familiar with them.
No.
At shooting time, she was about 14. So I think she's about 17 now, I think is what I read. But I don't think she did a bad job. I think her character was fine. Her character had some creepy, weird arcs things going on.
Yeah.
That made it strange that I'm not sure what to deal with. But I thought she was fine. What did you think of Sprite?
I thought she was fine, except for the kind of the weirdness of the whole love triangle kind of thing. But
yeah,
I liked her as a whole. I think
she had a little bit of the Loki power setup. Being able to duplicate himself and be 15 of himself and things like that.
I think if the character could accept what the character was supposed to be, I think it would have added itself to it. It kind of reminds me of what's her name, the young lady who played in Deadpool, the one that was very sarcastic to Ryan Reynolds.
Yes.
I can't remember her name, but she was like one of only 2 X-Men that actually was in this big mansion,
Yes.
So
the one with the cell phone all the time.
Yeah, she kind of reminded me of her attitude-wise, but yeah, I didn't have a problem with her.
Yeah.
I just wasn't a big fan of the whole weirdness between her and Icarus and that whole deal.
Yeah. Then we have Fastos, ability to create technology out of basically nothing, which I thought was a pretty kind of a cool
That was
power.
Interesting, and I thought it was interesting about his. He was very remorseful about how his. Yeah, it's fascinating because
how his technology had been used by humans.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's kind of funny because it's throughout the whole thing they want to evolve the human race quicker, and they and I forget if it's Selma Hayek's character or trying to say we need to give them a little bit at a time.
Yeah.
There was this whole I almost felt like this, and I want to get into all of this, but it's almost like this free will predestination type of fight that was going on. And
Yes.
struggle between these gods and mortals. I
There
felt
was-
that throughout this
there were-
theme throughout this.
Yeah, there was a lot of what I would say are moral or theological ideas pitched around in this movie.
Yeah.
Spiritual ideas, you know,
Yeah.
because I wouldn't begin to say anything in this particular movie was biblical to call it theological,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
there were lots of spiritual ideas
Yeah.
that are pitched around
Yeah.
and kind of mulled around. And there's one I want to get into here in a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
Then we've got Fastos. Oh no, we just said Fastos. By the way, Fastos, Brian Henry played Miles Morales' dad
Oh,
in
okay.
the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse movie.
Yeah.
So he played Jefferson Davis. So
I
he
think
actually
one of-
had some.
I think one of his
some,
best scenes. One of his best scenes is his remorse of the atom bomb.
Yeah,
That was a good scene. That was a good
Yeah.
scene.
I thought he was a great character.
Yeah.
I did actually like him.
Yeah.
Makari, she's fast
Yes.
and deaf.
Exactly. In depth.
And that's kind of Lauren Ridloff, and she's known for The Walking Dead.
Oh yeah.
I didn't dislike Makari. It would have been nice to see more of her. I thought
Yeah.
when she was on the screen, she did really good. This is one of those things where this character suffered because there were too many people in the movie.
Actually, and I really liked her. She is one of those characters I mentioned before. I would have liked to see more of.
Yes.
There was
I
something.
could have
special
seen
about this
less of
actor, this
Athena and more
yeah.
of Makari.
I agree.
Yep.
I agree with that.
Um,
And she had the relationship. Who she had the relationship with? Well, I guess
it looked kind of like she had a relationship with Druid.
yeah.
It
Which I
appears to
would've-
me.
Yeah. Which I would be more interested in that type of love story
Yes.
than the Icarus and
Yes.
and
Well, and it was like it kind of like hinted that there was one, and then later you kind of get a hint that there still is one, but in the middle of the movie for 7,000 years they're separated,
yeah.
or 5,000 years, however many.
Yeah.
I lose track of all the. There's too many dates in this dang movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's some weirdness there. It's like there was a love relationship, I think, but I'm not positive. It's like it was hinted at, but then,
yeah.
you know, I would have liked to have seen that character more. I thought she did a great job.
Yeah.
Then we have Druid, who I just mentioned,
Yeah.
able to control people's minds. That is super creepy and weird.
Yes, it is.
Oh my goodness. Super
Like Manlon Shyamalan type of thing.
Yeah, all it's almost an like some people call an OP, almost overpowered.
Yeah.
The ability to do this.
Yeah.
Barry Keoghan, thought he did a great job. He is actually supposed to be in the upcoming movie The Batman, but I don't know what he is playing. But you know, I thought he did a great job. We didn't see a whole lot of him. He did have a couple of really strong scenes where he was kind of the main thing. And it was, you know, that was one. What did you think about Druid?
It's funny, for some reason he's not. He reminded me ended up being the blind boy in Game of Thrones. He looked really close to him, but I don't think that was him. But
No, I don't think so.
I liked his character. I think it was very, he had a very dark side to him.
Mm-hmm.
Very overpowering. But I liked him and Makara. I think the two, if they were kind of so more than a couple, but kind of a team, I could see that work. I could see
They
that
could,
very.
they,
I could see
Makari,
that.
yeah. If Druid and Makari spent more time together, they could kind of offset each other just a little
exactly. And that's
almost.
how I feel. Is his darkness, her lightness.
It was almost like
Yeah.
Makari. I mean, Makari was the fast one, so she was constantly saving people by just grabbing them and picking
Yeah,
up and
exactly.
moving them.
Yeah,
Well, he was physically altering their minds to make them do things.
exactly.
It was almost, yeah, they're almost opposites.
Yeah.
Of she's super, super helpful to people, and he is overbearingly controlling people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think that could have been a really interesting
Yeah.
storyline, but we got too many of those. Then we got Gilgamesh, who is somebody I really wish we could have seen more of. I
He
really
was,
liked Gilgamesh.
I think of all of them, he was the most Marvel to me.
Yes, absolutely.
It was almost like I thought he was Child's brother in Doctor Strange.
Yes.
I mean, because at first I thought, is that him? Because they have some of the features,
Yeah.
But I really liked him. Of course, and I don't spoil alert. Of all the ones, the one that's my favorite, they kill off.
I know.
Really, and there was
Yeah.
no need to. And the problem with you, okay, it was. The problem is, none of these characters we've known from before, so it's hard to create this establishment and connection with the audience. And when a character dies, it's hard to be affected by it. In this movie,
Yeah.
it was irritating to me.
Yes. I wasn't sad that he died.
But it was
I was
irritating.
disappointed.
Yeah.
I was like,
it made
"Aw."
me mad. Like, really? You have all these people, and that's who dies.
Yes, exactly. I'm
Yeah.
right there with you.
So-
So just quick notes. He was the strong man of the group. He's got some magic gauntlets, which are kind of cool looking. I'm not even going to begin to try to pronounce his real name
No,
because I just
no.
can't. He was in a bunch of things that I've never heard of, mostly foreign films. But great actor. I thought he did a fantastic
By
job.
the way, he is in one film. It's a Korean-made film, and it's called "The Good, the Bad, and the Weird." And
Really?
it was back in 2008. It's a Korean-made kind of Western martial. I love it so much that I was just mesmerized by it. It's like this weird Western odd.
I'm going to have to go watch this now.
Yeah, you'll have to watch it. Good, the Bad, and the Weird. It used to be on Netflix, maybe on Prime. I don't know, but
I'll have to hunt it.
I love the movie. It's just weird, but it's hilarious. I love it.
All right, then we have Dane Whitman, the regular guy in the movie, but later we hint at his history and that he
Yeah.
will someday become the Black Knight, played by Kent Harington.
Yes,
Absolutely wasted. Absolutely wasted in this
wasted.
movie.
he was like, of all the characters, he was my number one character, and he didn't have any powers at the time, and it was so wasted. I mean,
You and I had talked about this movie early on before we saw it.
yeah.
And I said the best thing they could do is make this movie about Circe and the Black Knight and their love story and them saving the world and these other characters being
More of a
plot
supportive-
points along
Yeah,
the way
exactly.
that help them along the way a little bit at a time.
Yeah,
And that's just not where they went.
no,
They just went,
yeah.
hey, Kit, you're going to be in the movie for 5 seconds.
Yeah. No, and it would have been a great setup for him instead of this post credit. I think this
Yeah.
would have been you would got to know the character more
Yes.
as a human being. It would set him up to become the Green Knight.
The Black Knight.
I mean, the Black Knight. Sorry, I was thinking of Batman, Green Arrow. But yeah, I mean, I think it would have been a better story. Would build him up, kind of in the background, and yeah, between him and Circe, the immortal and the mortal relationship, romance, trying to save the world, but yeah, it was wasted. It was very wasted.
So I mentioned this to you right after I watched the movie. I mentioned to you that I thought this movie, it was actually the trolley problem. So if you're not familiar with the trolley problem, the quick explanation is, okay, there is a train coming down the tracks. There are 5 people working on the tracks. If you do nothing, they will die.
Yeah.
You can't yell at them. They'll never hear you. They can't hear the train. They can't see the train. They'll never see it. But there is a switch next to you you could pull. If you pull that switch, the train will switch tracks, but it will kill one person on the other set of tracks.
Yeah.
There's no way for you to stop that from happening. Either 5 people are going to die or one person is going to die, and the option is up to you to do something or not do something. That's the trolley problem. And that is what this movie is, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The whole point of this movie is the trolley problem. You've got 2 options, and this is the big spoiler. Either the Earth is going to explode and birth a new celestial, and everybody's going to die, or you can save everybody on Earth, but the celestial inside the Earth is going to have to die. How did you feel about that being the whole point of the movie? Especially after 45 minutes to an hour of them telling you the point of the Eternals was to help the people of Earth become better.
Yeah, it was one of those things I had to rewind and watch again on some of these things because I thought to myself, the movie contradicts itself. I think the movie contradicts itself.
How do you mean?
I think in the point of the whole idea is to help humanity to get to a point and to be watchers over humanity.
Yes.
And only step in when there's and I forget the name of it, the deviants come in, which nothing the humans can do about it, and that is of course we all find out later the deviants and immortals become this weird association there, almost a symbiont of some kind.
Yes.
I don't know. It got too weird, too convoluted for me. It needed to have more of a streamlined consistency. And the problem is not only having so many people, so many backstories, so many things are trying to be told at the same time. Then you have this, you're almost trying to make this a whodunit, the surprise at the end kind of thing where, well, this.
It's like there's too many twists.
There's too many twists. And
yeah, I'm with you.
I mean, to the point that to the point you can get, I mean, most people who went to see this movie, if I be honest with them, they probably halfway through the whole thing don't even know what it's about anymore.
Well, and that's a big problem I have with this film, is the first 45 minutes to an hour, they build up this whole story of this is how the world came to be, this is why the Eternals are here, the Deviants just showed up somehow.
Yeah.
Literally, it says that in the opening crawl, that the Deviants just arrived from outer space.
Yeah.
But then 45 minutes to an hour into the movie, we find out, oh yeah, all that stuff we've been telling you for the last hour.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, none of that is actually true.
No.
This is what is actually true. Big twist. But then we have some more twists. like Icarus. Icarus is like my least favorite twist.
Yeah.
That Icarus is actually kind of the bad guy.
Yeah.
That's actually another problem I have with this movie is there are too many bad guys. We've got the deviants, they're the bad guys.
Yeah.
We got the one deviant that is evolving, and actually I didn't even know he had a name, but in the credits he's listed with a name. He's named Crow, and he's played by Bill Skarsgård. He played Pennywise in It, the recent It movie.
Oh, okay.
He was also Zeitgeist in Deadpool 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we've got the deviants that are the bad guys. But then Erishim, the god that created the first sun or whatever, is kind of a bad guy because he's going to kill everybody to let the Celestial out.
Yeah.
But then the Celestial, so the kind of the disaster that's about to happen is kind of the bad guy.
Yeah.
And then we have Icarus, and Sprite joins Icarus, and they become the bad guys. I like, what? Just give me a story. This is so strange. And none of those bad guys are really working together exactly.
No,
they're just all working against the Eternals.
The movie reminds me of a migraine. You know, it hurts and you can't think straight and you just want something to take the pain away. And that's the definition of the movie to me. For me, the more and more we talk about it, I realize more
the worse
and more
it gets.
Because I'm trying to be kind. I'm trying to say for people who
there really were some great spots.
It was, and it had a lot to do with Harish Patel. You know, I mean,
oh my gosh, he did a great job.
Yeah,
honestly.
he did a great job.
Yeah, and Gemma Chan. Honestly, I think Gemma Chan was a superstar in this film. She did a really, really great job.
I think so too.
And if we could have just focused more on her and less on everybody else, I think it would have been,
I think so too. She shined, and I think if Gemma and Kit Harington, I would love for it to be centered around them.
Yeah.
It's almost like the Wonder Woman and Chris Pine type of deal.
Yes.
From Wonder Woman. That
yes. That could have worked really well if they had made the movie like it with that kind of style.
Yeah.
Yeah. I totally agree. Any other thoughts? I'm a CGI snob. Some of the CGI was really cool. Some of it was a little weird. Yeah. Especially when Athena did anything.
Yeah.
That was anytime they used a digital double for Athena doing some kind of weird stunt, she just lost all sense of gravity.
Yeah.
It was weird. I don't know why. It was like, okay, Angelina Jolie, our biggest name star. Yeah, we're going to give her the worst CGI.
Yeah.
Now her weapons were really cool looking. But yeah, anyway,
and for me, unless I'm judging it, over judging it, I thought whatever the thing they used, it was, I don't know, this flat wall that they have as this ship or something. I thought it was strange to me. It felt out of place. It was weird. It was almost like, is this kind of like a visible thing, this plexiglass from Superman prison or what? I mean, I don't even know how to describe it. It was really weird to me. And
yeah, that's one of those. It wasn't badly rendered. It was badly chosen.
Yeah. Okay, well that must be it then.
In my opinion, it fit in the world, but it looked stupid. It was just kind of like, really? That's where we're going with? Okay.
Okay.
You say so.
Can we have a spear, at least a spear or something, or?
And especially as cool and as decorative as everything they had was.
Yeah.
And then they got the world's most plain triangular ship.
Yeah. It's like they got it from Home Depot. It's like a wall or something.
I agree. I do agree. It was just weird. It was a weird choice. It was a weird choice.
I am curious though, and I don't know where you're at on your list. If you still have some, I was just wondering.
Not a whole lot.
I mean, we kind of get to the point where we think about how, what. I mean, like a spoiler, okay, bottom line, but at the very end, we of course we find out Kit Harington, his character.
Yes.
He becomes, the scene where there's the sword,
the ebony blade, yes.
Ebony blade.
Which they Easter egged earlier in the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Where Sprite asked Athena, "Is that the ebony blade?" And she said, "No, this is Excalibur," which I thought was kind of funny, knowing that the ebony blade was going to show up at some point.
I think the exciting point of the whole thing was the voice. Are you ready?
Yes,
Are you
the
sure
off-screen voice.
And after doing some, I guess, research, they're assuming that's Blade.
Everybody is saying it was Mahershala Ali off-screen.
Awesome actor.
Yes, I'm super pumped for him to play Blade, that he will play Blade. I think it's weird.
I think it's weird that he would be in that.
It's a weird choice that we're gonna take the Black Knight and make him part of the Blade part of the MCU of all things. I understand he has a sword, and Blade runs around with a couple of katanas. I get it; they both have swords.
It doesn't fit, though.
But I'm not. When I think of the Black Knight, I think of the Avengers.
Yeah.
And all their bad guys.
Yeah.
I don't think of Blade, the living vampire, and, vampire hunting. Maybe I'm wrong there. And one thing I read said in the comics, they do have this weird connection that they both worked for for one of the British intelligence agencies at one point. They both worked for the same one. Whether they ever worked together, or whether they even worked there at the same time in the comic books, they both technically worked for this organization at some point.
It's comic book classified.
Yeah. But, I mean, that is kind of a stretch for me.
Well, and I thought it was odd. I thought, because I had no clue. I mean, after I did, I heard the voice, and first I thought the voice was the sword itself. I mean, I didn't. I started doing some research, and I'm thinking, really, Blade. That's weird. Him just even in the environment, him being in the same room, it felt really weird. It didn't fit.
Yes,
like I said,
I'm
excited. I'm excited. I love the actor. I think great choice to play Blade.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't.
I'm not a huge Blade fan. Like, I'm not.
Yeah.
I never read the comic books. I saw at least the first movie and parts of the other movies, back in the day. And not hating on Blade, it just never was a character that I got super excited about. But knowing Mahershala Ali is going to be playing the character, I'm really stoked to see what they're going to do with it. Because I think he could really make this character happen.
Oh, I know. I mean, he played Cottonmouth in the Luke Cage series, which he carried that. He was great series.
Yep.
Again, Netflix.
Yes.
Disney.
Not sure what's going
to.
Disney. Yeah. See, if you want to watch it, you better start binging it really fast if you haven't seen it yet.
But
I don't know. I thought it was interesting. Not sure where that's going to go. I hope we get to see Kit Harington actually, do something exciting superhero stuff.
Yeah, I agree. I'm hoping the same thing. I really, like I said, as we talked about this movie more and more till the end, I kind of feel like there was a lot. I think there was a waste opportunities. I think there was a lot of missed and wasted opportunities throughout this whole film, and they were trying to do too much.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think it was. I think there were some great attempts. Some of them worked, and some of them just fell flat. And I still will stand by. It's not the worst MCU film.
No.
But it's like if I could edit this film, re-edit this film, and take out about an hour of it and make I think you could make a good 90-minute film and tell a good 90-minute story.
Yeah.
There was just so much of it that just, the first hour, all of it was a lie anyway.
Yeah.
So it didn't help the rest of the story all that much.
No, it didn't.
But I don't know. That's not for me to say, but I think it could have been better. I think it should have been better.
I agree.
It definitely had a different feel than any other MCU film, and that's okay. We've got Captain America Civil War. That had a whole different feel than any of the other MCU movies.
That's true.
First Avenger, Captain America movies all felt different. But they all fit. This one felt different, but didn't quite fit.
No.
So unless we're starting to go down a darker road overall, which maybe we are, maybe it will fit. Maybe it will start feeling like it fit because some of the other movies will become dark like this.
Could be.
And we know Multiverse of Madness is going to go pretty dark.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty dark. So I guess my last question, how do you think this film is going to, and we just talked about it, but how do you think this is going to prep the MCU universe? Is it going to affect it in any way?
I think it's going to give us a way to get the Black Knight in.
I mean, that's true.
Obviously. But the other ending scene kind of hints at some stuff that I think could come up in the Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Thanos' brother.
yeah, Thanos' brother. We've got Eros, Star Fox is what he goes by in the comics. Star Fox and Pip pop up. And they would fit into the Guardians of the Galaxy style.
Yeah.
Those two characters, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. But outside of that, I don't see, basically Sprite becomes human, so I'm assuming Sprite no longer has her powers.
Yeah.
It's a little unclear, but if so that character kind of got wiped away.
Mm-hmm.
Icarus flew into the sun, so the assumption is he is dead.
Mm-hmm.
Icarus flew too close to the sun.
Icarus.
Yes. Gilgamesh died. I don't see Druid being a major player.
Mm-mm.
Makari would be fun to see again,
Yes,
but I don't know where she'd fit in. Phastos doesn't. If we stick with what he said in the movie, he really doesn't want to be involved. He didn't want to be involved. He wanted to stay out of it. So I don't see a reason for him to necessarily get involved with anything again. Kingo's fun, but I don't see where he fits in.
Yeah.
Ajax is dead. Athena, there's too much messed up brain stuff going on with her. Circe is the only character I really want to see again.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But she got taken to space by Arishem at the end. So I
know that guy. There's so
they're
much.
definitely there's
Yeah.
more story now that has to be told for any of this to make any sense. Because I mean, at the end, basically, we are told that Arishem is going to judge the Earth based on the memories of these Eternals that he has taken away. But I mean, okay, so at some point, okay, so Galactus. This is a stupid theory. What if we never get a Galactus and they just treat Arishem as Galactus in the MCU? You know, because Galactus is supposed to be the world eater. He's supposed to destroy planets.
Yeah.
You know, what if Arishem becomes the de facto Galactus and we never actually see a Galactus? You know, I don't think that's a good idea.
I don't think so either.
But I feel like that's, you know, kind of the part he's playing right now.
Yeah, and it's kind of underwhelming to me.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't feel it's very. Galactus would be more threatening. It seemed like it would be more of a, like Thanos of some kind.
Yes.
There's a, yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know where it will go. I see some threads make sense to show up in other shows.
Yeah.
In other movies. But I don't have a strong pull to have a second movie, a second Eternals.
Oh, I agree. I agree.
But they definitely hinted that there will be. I mean, at the end of the movie, it says the Eternals will return, as if there is going to be an Eternals 2. But I'm not invested enough.
No, I'm not either. I think that's what's odd is it. I have no idea how it did in the box office. Of course, you know it's the pandemic. You know, box office.
Yeah,
it's hard
so
to really
weird.
judge anymore. And I don't know how critics were. I don't know. I mean, I'm more concerned about what, you know, the moviegoer critics, you know, not so much
Right.
the professional critics have to say. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know if.
Yeah, I should have looked that up.
I don't know if most
quick.
Marvel fans feel the same way. I don't know. I mean, because the Eternals, it's, if not mistaken, it's pretty. It's I mean, in the scope of comic book, you know, history, it's quite new. It's not a.
Well, they're actually old,
Is it?
but there wasn't a whole lot of it.
Okay.
So there's just not a lot.
Gotcha.
It's not that it's new, it's that it was old and it just didn't do it very much with it.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, side note, Rotten Tomatoes, the critic score was 47%, so low. Audience score was 78%, which isn't horrible, but it's kind of low for a Marvel movie. Box office opening weekend was 71 million, which is respectable in today's, you know, in
our
post-pandemic.
climate,
So, I mean, it did okay. It's not huge, but not horrible.
yeah. Well, I'm like with you. I'm not very invested in it. You know, if you're going to see the Eternals again, well, who are the Eternals left? You know, or is are we going to have new characters? Are we going to bring in new characters, new people? I don't know.
They're robots. Can Arishem just remake them and have a new Icarus?
I guess that's true. I guess.
That
don't-
literally just popped
Yeah.
into my head.
I mean,
It absolutely could be. And how many more planets does he have that he has Celestials about to be birthed that he needs to go deal with?
I don't know, but
Yeah, I don't know.
they're going to have to do something better if they're going to do
tons
a
and
sequel.
tons of questions,
Yeah.
and I have none of the answers.
Do you think they have too many questions to answer where you're going to have another convoluted movie again?
That's my fear. That's
Yeah.
my fear, that there is literally too much to answer for it to be a nice, smooth transition to a single film that makes
Yeah.
sense. I think we're
yeah.
gonna have another convoluted movie that's hard to follow.
Okay. Well, that's
On the plus side,
Eternals.
on the plus side, we got fewer characters this time.
Exactly.
It's so bad.
Oh my goodness. Less money to spend on the cast. But,
Oh.
so
Oh my goodness.
I don't have anything else.
I don't either.
You know, if you like the movie, you know, that's great out there. You know, we're not hating. It's just our personal opinion. Like I said, it wasn't the best. It wasn't the worst. It just, you know, didn't grab our attention as the way we wanted it to. But anyhow, if you enjoyed it, great. You have a chance, comment on our group site.
Yep. Join us at Speaking Nerdy on Facebook, and our group also at Speaking Nerdy as well.
That's
and
right.
I think you can find all of those links on our website at speakingnerdy.com.
That's right. And we get together every Friday night, 8 p.m. I'm going to go 7 p.m. No, it's actually 8 p.m.
8 p.m.
Okay,
Central.
Central and 9 p.m. Eastern time. So, and we got some fun stuff that's coming up. So just hang with us, and we'll do some things as we get to Kenobi. We'll do some filler as we get to Obi-Wan Kenobi.
We're waiting for, and now we got to wait longer.
Yeah,
I was wrong. It's not going to be the
it's
4th.
Okay.
Oh well.
We'll just make up stuff like we normally do.
Well,
So-
yep, that's true.
All right. Well, I'm good. Anything else?
All right. No, let's end it.
All right.
This has been the Speaking Nerdy podcast with your host, Mr. Mike Shilley.
And my good friend and compadre, Mr. Ricky Poe.
Man, we hated on that movie, didn't we?
Man,